of Shadows. Don't read the book because it's too scary for you. This isn't... There's so much wrong with this movie. I knew this movie was bad. I'd heard it's bad, but I was so excited to see it. I've heard for years that this is a bad movie. Sequel to Blair Witch, obviously. I loved the Blair Witch Project. I only ever saw it once. It was in a theater when it first came out, and I think the fact that it was in a theater was very beneficial. But it was the scariest movie I've ever seen. And I was just like cringing in my chair, waiting for dawn to come every time it got to be night in the movie. I was like, oh, come on, no, don't let anything happen. And of course, for the most part, nothing does happen, but that tension is there and it's so intense. There's none of that in this movie to worry about. And hey, this movie stars Michael Weston from Burn Notice as a crazy guy, and for the entire movie I'm sitting there going, hey, he's really undercover, and he's in there, he's trying to figure out the Blair Witch drug ring and, you know, take them down. And he never did that. He stayed in character for the whole movie. I guess that's a spoiler. This movie, Book of Shadows, doesn't even get this. It's only this. Book of Shadows. There's no book. There are shadows, but I've never seen a movie without them. And I was discussing with my wife the other day how weird it would be to see a movie with no shadows and wondering if you would even notice. You just think, oh, this is strange. Looks kind of washed out. Anyway, there are shadows in the movie, but no book. There's no Book of Shadows. It's just called Book of Shadows. And there's no Blair Witch. That's not true. It's really very much about the Blair Witch. But, okay, it starts out really interesting to me. Like, the premise is great. It's the Blair Witch movie happened. It was a movie in the real world. This takes place in our real world, I guess. Because the Blair Witch movie has happened, now there's all these tourists coming to Burkittsville, you know, because of the Blair Witch stuff, and they're selling merchandise, and it's all kind of, you know, it comes from that. And they're like, oh, let's go on a Blair Witch hunting tour. And, you know, of course, bad things happen. And that's a fun idea. It's a really fun idea to play off the first movie without actually being, you know, this isn't a sequel to that movie. It's what happens in our world after that movie came out, which is, that's clever and interesting. And that's totally failed because the movie's stupid. This is the most nonsensical movie I've ever seen, because nothing in here that happens for any reason. It's just, oh, I think it'd be scary if all of a sudden their car was destroyed. Not while they're in it. It's just sitting outside and they look and they go, oh, it's destroyed, even though a minute ago it was perfectly fine. And then later they see it again and it's fine again. Just car smashed. Everything's like that. There's like stuff happens, and this isn't you know, Steadicam movie, a Handycam movie like Blair Witch. This is a regular movie, but there's cameras all over the place. It's very much, you know, a part of the concept. And so what happens is, something happens, oh, people have a fight, and you see it happen, then later you see the videotape of it, because there was a security camera filming it, and of course the security camera footage doesn't match what you saw. And you're like, ooh, it's different, but I don't know which one's real, and it really doesn't matter. That's the entire movie. Nothing matters. 1 out of 5. Stupid.